so that we can, we'll start off by seating and just getting into some of the practice of, so first off, getting your sitting bones supported in whichever seated pose you're best off, whether you want to sit cross-legged or whether you want to sit so to lengthen a little bit your thighs, in which case either sit on the bolster or sit on the block or a cushion, with sitting bones just touching the cushion and lengthening the thighs completely in front of you. So as you're sitting down, relax your hands. Now, relax your hands. Point the palms, so hands down onto your thighs. Point the palms up towards the ceiling. So opening the palms up. And firstly, we'll start off with meditation. So sitting in this pose, either cross-legged or sitting with that cushion or bolster between our thighs, resting the sitting bones down onto the floor or onto the cushion, and simultaneously stretching the head up towards the ceiling. So the crown of your head is stretching up towards the ceiling. The chin's parallel to the floor. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Making a sound. Inhaling in through your nose. So I might be exaggerating, but I'd like you to do the same. So every time as you inhale, notice your inhale. Notice the breath coming in through your nose. And as you exhale, make a big sound. And really sink those sitting bones down into the floor. And then close your eyes or keep your gaze lowered. Staying upright, focusing on the breath. Focusing on the breath coming in through your nose. And on the exhale, letting the exhale come through your nose or through slightly opened, gaped lips. Whichever you find easier to do. Then bring your awareness, bring your attention to the sounds. Anything that you can hear. The sounds that are coming in from outside the room. The sounds that are coming in from inside the room. The sound of your breath. The sound of the bell. Marking the beginning of meditation. Staying seated. Breathing in and out. Focusing your awareness just to your breath. Every time you breathe in, say to yourself,
I'm breathing in. Every time you breathe out, say to yourself, I'm breathing out. You will be noticing perhaps other things as well. Noticing perhaps thoughts coming into your mind, into your head. And welcome everything that comes in, whether it's an itch, whether it's the movement that you wish to make, whether it's the desire for getting out of the poor pose. So whatever comes in, just welcome it. And then again, go back into your breath, noticing your breath in, noticing the breath out. Now bring your awareness to your hands. Notice your hands on top of your lap, on top of your thighs, and lightly touch the thumb and the little finger. So letting the other fingers relax. Relax the rest of the hand, the arm. And notice whether this movement, lightly touching the thumb to a little finger, whether that comes naturally, easily, or whether it comes with some difficulty. And with your hand gestures like this, go back to your breath, breathing in, breathing out. Every time you breathe in, say to yourself, I'm breathing in. On your exhale, say to yourself, I'm breathing out. Any thoughts that may come to you, just welcome them. No judging. Again, go back to your breath. If you need to release the mudra, the hand gesture, by all means do so. And then bring your awareness to the sounds again. The sounds coming from outside your room. The sound coming in from inside the room. The sound of your breath. The sounds again from outside the room. The sound from inside the room. Whether it's the sound of the computer or whether it's the sound of your own body. And the sound of your breath. the sound of the bell. Then, if you're still holding your hands in the water mudra, then with the fingers touching, release your fingers. Bring your hands to the heart center in the Anjali mudra. The hands pressing to palms pressing together. Take a deep breath in and the deep breath out. One more time. And this time, drop your chin a tiny bit down, as if you're looking in towards your hands and as if you're looking in towards your baby. Bringing your awareness to your belly, bringing your awareness to your baby. And say to yourself, and bringing your awareness to your heart center, and say to yourself, I have everything in me to give birth to this beautiful baby. I have everything in me to give birth to healthy, beautiful baby. One more time. And we can finish it off by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. 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 And release your hands down. So, and come out of the pose, whichever pose you're sitting in. So whether it's your hands, your legs are behind you, whether you're in a cross-legged position, out on into releasing your legs away from you. Can I just check whether you can hear me? Could you hear everything? Yeah? Okay, good. All right. So coming on to the seated, and we started off with the water sort of basing. So this practice is the water mudra is with hands, and so with the thumbs, the little finger and the thumb touching together, and it's like water. It's a water energy practice, and it is good to do this. It's sort of thinking about the fluidity and thinking about the amount of water, the amount of liquid, everything that we have in our body. So 70% normally of our body is liquid, but then, and you'd know this now, you even more. So with an extra weight and an extra that you will be having in the with the baby. So sometimes all of that, the energy in our body sometimes gets really blocked. Now it's good to do sort of unblocking the energy, unblocking those the centers, and
to get everything flow quite easily. So it's good to practice that, but it's also good to do the energy freeing practice, which we sometimes and quite often actually do the movement with the legs. So we'll do a more of it, and we'll do the energy freeing practice. So we'll start off by feet again, because of the seated position where we were. So start off by sitting in a stick pose, Dandasana. So sitting on the block, legs in front of you straight, and then with the toes. So as you inhaling, bringing the toes up towards you. As you exhale, pushing the toes away. Inhaling, perhaps turning around this way. Inhaling, bringing the toes towards you. Exhaling, bringing the toes, pushing them away from you. So straightening up towards you as you inhale. Exhale, point the toes. And just notice if your legs were tingling before in the position that you were in seated before. Notice whether now you almost feel like that is kind of releasing the energy, releasing as if the blood certainly flowing faster in this once the legs are in a more natural position. So straightening and pointing. Now rotating the ankles, so bring the legs back to where they were, rotating the ankles outward. And then so as the ankles rotate, so do the whole legs. And perhaps you'll notice how the leg rotates away from the pelvis in a way, so they're just outward. And as you inhale, bring the legs back in. Exhale, out. In. Exhale, out. Now make a space between the legs, between the feet. And then this time, as you inhale, point the toes towards each other. Exhale, toes away from each other. Inhale, toes in. Exhale, rotating out. Inhale in and out. And then bring them back. So we can't repeat as many times as we would. So in practice and how it's advised to do this, every one of these small exercises should be repeated 7 times. So we haven't got much time to do that. And I don't know whether you remember, we've done this in the classes before where we actually got to a certain point and then we stopped. So coming now, bend your knee, one knee. So be careful here. So with the right leg or left. So be careful because of your growing belly. You might feel like unsettled in here. So don't fall off. So make sure that you're being supported. So inhale here. Exhale, push the foot away. So straightening the leg. Inhale, bring the leg in. Exhale, out. And we'll do it 3 times on both sides. And go on the left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. And one more time. Good. Now this time, bring your right leg towards you. Now, this time, instead of pressing the leg away from you, just open it out. Open it out to the point that you're trying to keep. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to keep the toes, the foot down onto the floor. So completely onto the floor. So when the foot is down on the floor, the leg really can't open that much. So you'll do that first initially, and then you'll do it as opening the hip. So this time, as you do it, when it's opening it just when the foot is completely onto the floor, the hip doesn't really open as much. And then as you take the foot off the floor, the hip opens. And you do it 3 times. Inhaling, foot, leg in, exhaling, out. So these are very slow, and we repeat on the left side. These are very slow practices, and it feels that you haven't really done anything during it, but what you're doing is you're practicing your breath. Most of the times you will be practicing the breath, and whilst you're focusing on every single pose that you're doing it, you're actually it is quite relaxing as well. And now opening the hump, completely opening the hip, rotating the leg outwards, and inhale, bring it back in and out and in and out and in. Now we'll move from here onto all fours. So we're repeating and we're carrying on with the energy freeing practices, some of which we've done as part of a different flow practice. So this time, bring your knees together. They are, and as you inhale, drop your hips to the right. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, drop the hips to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale to the right, so the hips are going in line with the knees. Making sure you feel that stretch on the right, the whole of the right side of your thigh and the left side of your thigh. And one more time. And inhaling, dropping back. And coming over. Staying on to all fours for the time being. And then doing a cat and cow. So make sure that the eyes of the elbows are pointing towards each other. Hands are down, stretched completely, fingers are stretched apart. And there's a gap between your knees. But bring your awareness to your baby. Scoop your baby closer to you so that it's really as you're holding your belly, holding your baby closer to your heart. As you're inhaling here, and then as you exhale, bring your awareness to your tailbone. Bring your tailbone and pubic bone forward, curve the back, drop the head down, look in direction of your baby. Inhale, take your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Open the chest and gaze forward. Exhale, repeat into cow, bringing the movement from the tailbone, led by your breath. Inhale, tailbone up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, gazing forward, and exhale. exhale, coming into cat. Dropping the head down. And one more time into cow. And if you need to do so, then coming onto tabletop, if you feel that you need to go into a child's pose, do so. Go into a child's pose, drop your tailbone down towards the floor, or drop your head down towards the floor. Otherwise, come into a seated pose. So you're sitting onto your heels. And so this time, as you're sitting on the heels, if you feel that the sitting on the heels isn't very comfortable, then place your cushion or something under your between your heels and your sitting bones. And this time, we're just going to go onto our hands, which comes really better because you want to be moving the joints. So just circle the wrists to the right. So, and then out in towards the center. And then place the hand so the right arm is stretched out in front of you. The fingers are pointing upwards. So take your left hand and pull your fingers towards you, towards your face. Inhaling here. As you exhale, drop the hand down, pushing with your left hand. Now notice the stretch as you do that. Inhale, bring the fingers towards your face. Exhale, push your hand down, and as you do so, notice the stretch in the forearm just below your elbow. And then bring the hand up again. So it's good to do this particular one. It's very good to do for if your wrists or if your arms get really swollen, and release. And then if you need to shake it off, do shake off your hand, but then we need to do it on the left side as well. So stretch the left hand, bring the fingers towards you as you inhale, exhale, down. Inhale, point the fingers up, and then push your right hand, using your right hand, push your fingers of the left towards your face. Exhale, push the hand down, so you're flexing and extending your wrists, and then bring them back in again and down. And again, give it a shake. Good shake. Now we'll go into the elbows. So you do the elbows, so arms are stretched out in front of you, and then palms are facing up. As you bend the elbows, touch the shoulders and stretch out. Inhale, bring them in. Exhale, out. In, out. And then this time, as you bring them in, bring the hands in, rotate the elbows in front of your face. So first, small rotations. Inhaling, bringing the elbows down, up, exhaling down. And now on the other side. So inhaling up, exhaling down. And under your fingers, under your hands, you notice the movement of the shoulders. Now bring the hands, sorry, the elbows wider and do the rotation again. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhale up, exhale down. And the other way. Inhale up, exhale down. So the rotating, it's only the elbows that are rotating. And release down. So notice which one of these you find the hardest and which one you notice the stretch the most. So for example, I noticed the stretch the most on my right forearm here when as I stretch, but that's because I had, during pregnancies, I had problems with carpal tunnel. And then again, it comes back eventually. So it goes off after pregnancy and comes back again. So that's very common as well for in pregnancies. And so perhaps again into your shoulders. And so those poses, those ones that you notice the most, are probably the ones that you need to do the most. Then bring the shoulders up to your ears, and as you exhale, do the exhale, drop them down completely down. So inhale up, down. Inhale up, down. Good. And then stay here, rotating the shoulders a little bit up, and then back to the other side. Now to your head. First, dip the chin, so drop the chin down as if you're looking down towards your baby. Inhale, bring it up. Just stay where you are. So rather than tipping the head up, just stay to the normal, so to the center. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. And this time just open, so turn your head, rotate the head towards the right shoulder and back to center and then towards the left. Back to center, right. Make sure you come back to center rather than you rotating from one side to another. So stay and notice whilst you come back to center, sort of pause for a bit before you take it again to the right and pause, center, left. Pause, center. Now drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Then take your right hand, so that can stay as it is and can do that. Or you can take the right hand onto your left ear and just pull it a little bit more. Now that can stay where it is, or you can just start gazing towards, so down towards your right armpit. And then in the same way that you got to this point, start coming back bit by bit. First gazing, straightening the gaze, then dropping your arm, then raising your head to center, and then to the left. Drop your left ear to the left shoulder. Then bring the arm, if you want to, bring the arm so that your hand touches the opposite ear. Then either stay here or look down towards the left armpit. And in the same way, in stages, start coming back. So that wasn't in stages. I wanted to move my hand and my head at the same time. Now you can do that to add on more if you feel that the neck needs a little bit more freeing. So you can do that by using your hand and just dropping the opposite hand down. So flexing your hand and dropping the opposite arm down. So where you get the extension, more of it is with the hand, the movement of the hands as well, and then come back to center. So this is sort of the way that you'd go from the feet down up to the crown of your head, but it's sort of freeing all the joints. Now come back, take the cushion out, come back onto all fours, and this time tuck your toes under and then sit back onto your heels. And try and sit here, see how long you can sit. So stretching these toes. And as you inhale here, and then release down, walk your hands in front of you, tap your toes, tap your feet, and then come back again 3 times. And back again. Tap. And one more time. And as you hear, notice how the toes are stretching, whether one side is more stretchy than the other one, whether one side is actually hurting. So just notice and be aware of imbalance between the right and left. And then come back again, or perhaps balance as it is. Come back to the center, and now make a space between your knees, tuck your toes under, and then come over, push yourself to come into a squat. At this time, pushing your feet a little bit wider than your mat. So either staying here, or if you feel that you need to, place the bolster behind you. To sit on the bolster, you do so. Or if your heels are not touching the floor, then place the heels on the bolster as well. So wherever you are, place your hands onto your heart center, push your elbows into the thighs, and now bring your awareness to your pelvic floor, to your inner thighs. As you inhale, bring the inner thighs in as close together as possible. So you're bringing your elbows up, doing the opposite actions to your inner thighs. Inhaling here. As you exhale, place your hands down onto the floor, lift your tailbone and release the inner thighs. Drop the head down. Inhale, squeeze the inner thighs. Exhale, hands down, tailbone up, drop the head. Inhale, squeeze the inner thighs. Exhale down, and slowly walk yourself up into standing. Slowly bringing the feet together and just stretching the legs. So stretching, sort of giving yourself a little bit of walking. Now, what we're going to do now is just a tiny bit of movement. So bringing your attention, awareness to your pelvis. And so with the wider feet wider than your hips, baby here. So scoop the baby as close to you as possible. So bring your baby closer, and then rather than tucking the tailbone, lengthen the tailbone down. So as you scoop the baby in, your inner thighs will be working again, coming closer towards each other. Lengthening the tailbone down, and knees are not locked, they're slightly bent. Now bring your hands in this pose, bring your hands together, fingers, 2 fingers pointing towards each other. Elbows out, stretched. As you're inhaling here, scooping the baby in, lengthening the tailbone. Exhaling, the same movement with the tailbone, sorry, not the same. So the tailbone then goes back as if it goes back out, and inhaling up. So inhaling, scooping the baby, lengthening the tailbone, exhaling, tailbone out. Inhaling up, exhaling out. So as if you were doing cat and cow, but in a standing pose, making sure that the feet are completely down onto the floor. So mine are on the floor, but they're sort of on the there's a mat in between, and I was standing on the edges of the mat, and so the balance wasn't really right. So make sure that the flat, that wherever your feet are, that the surface is flat, so that you can notice the feet on the ground. Now release the arms. Now scoop the arms up as you go up, as you're inhaling. Now straightening the arms, straightening the legs. As you exhale, hands down and sort of float down. Arms up. Inhale, exhale, arms go down together with the tailbone. Inhale, pubic bone forward. Up, straightening, exhale. Now bending a little bit more as if you're coming into a squat. The squat will depend on how you are and how far you are in pregnancy. Good. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. The next time you exhale, come down into a squat. Good. Well done. Pressing into the feet, pressing the inner thighs in towards each other.
Exhaling and releasing down onto the floor, bringing the knees down and releasing the tailbone down towards the floor, stretching the arms out in front of you so that you come down as if you're coming into the child's pose. So relaxing the head down onto the floor or onto your cushions. And just notice your breath. Allow your belly to relax between the thighs. Good. And slowly come up into a seated pose. So, you okay? Good. So I've put the music on. I don't know what you can hear and what you can't hear, but I've got the next door neighbours have got some work being done on the house, so it's quite loud in here. I don't know whether you can hear it. I just need a sip of water, sorry. Okay, so coming on to your bolsters, and we're coming on to the pelvic floor practices, which we have done anyway. So sitting onto your bolster, relaxing the legs down, making sure, or feet down, making sure that you notice the middle line, so where you're sitting, closing your eyes. Now for this you might want to use, if you want to do the water practice again, so with the little finger and the thumb touching and the palms, the palms resting and up, facing up. Or you don't have to, you can just rest your hands on the thighs, whichever way you wish to do so. And start following your breath and start rocking. Closing your eyes if you haven't done so, or lowering your gaze. Let your awareness float down to the base of your spine and let it flow down so that you notice what you're sitting on. You notice the base of your spine. You notice the front, the pubic bone. So your sacrum, one bone, the pubic bone, the front. Noticing vagina, what you're sitting on. And just bringing your awareness to the holes in underneath you. So your anal hole, vaginal hole, and your urinary hole. And then stopping as you're with your rocking, stopping towards the back. So you can feel, you notice that you're sitting on your anus. Bring your awareness, bring your whole awareness down to your anus and the muscles around your anus. And as you inhale, squeeze just the muscles around your anus. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale and squeeze the muscles around the anus. Exhale, release. Repeat 2 more times. Inhaling and squeezing. Exhaling, releasing. And then start rocking from back to front. And then stop towards the front so that you're sitting on your urinary hole. So you inhale, squeeze your muscles around urinary holes. It's just the muscles around urinary hole. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze the muscles around urinary hole. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Squeezing and inhale. Exhale, releasing. One more time. And start rocking front to back. Stopping in the middle between the urinary hole and the anus. Now noticing that you're sitting on your vagina, pressing down, and bringing your awareness completely down to the muscles, the vagina walls. So you inhale, bring the walls in towards each other. Exhale, release. Inhaling. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeezing in. Exhaling, releasing. And now bringing the walls in towards each other and bringing them up towards navel. So as you're bringing them closer to the baby, imagining that there's a lift, bringing the lift up, 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 step by step, floor by floor. Exhaling, releasing slowly again, step by step, floor by floor, until you get to the bottom. Next time you do that, you do it again, really squeezing on the inhale, bringing them up, 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 up to navel, wherever you can get to, whether you can get to 5 floors, 4, 3, or 10, it is really down to you and to your body. Wherever you get to, slowly releasing down to the base level, and then slowly coming back to your normal breath. Releasing your hands if you're in water mudra. And then bringing your hands, your right hand, so staying here where you are, or straightening the legs if you wish to do so, so coming into a cross-legged position, it's up to you. And bringing your right hand up to your heart center, so in the middle, the left hand where your baby is. And then noticing, closing your eyes again, and just noticing and staying with your breath. Noticing as you inhale, your chest opening, your belly perhaps ballooning up, or if you can't feel it, just imagining it. And exhaling, the belly goes a little bit in, and then the chest goes in. So imagining, if you can't feel it, notice it, imagining that the right hand moves with your inhale first, and then the left hand moves as if it comes away from the body. And as you exhale, then the left hand's almost pushing into closer to your baby, and the right hand then goes in. So first establish the breath, the movement of your hands. Then imagine that as you inhale, you're bringing all your love, all your breath down to to your baby. And as you exhale, you're taking her love, his love towards your heart. Inhale from your heart to your baby. Exhale from your baby to your heart. And stay with that. Notice how you feel. Know that your breath, every single of your breaths, is bringing nourishment and love to you and your baby. It's bringing relaxation, and slowly, if you wish to do so, release the hands, release the arms. Either rest them on your thighs or come down, lying down onto your side, lying down onto your left side. So stretching your legs away from you, and then bringing, if you have a bolster, which I think you might have, then bringing your right leg completely over the bolster. So, and then making sure that you are with your head, that you are completely, that you support it. So taking your head down onto your cushion, and then either staying like this, keeping your right hand onto your belly, or allowing it to go down by your face or wherever you feel that it's comfortable for you. Resting your head down on the floor or on the cushion, wherever you are.
staying with your breath. Noticing the physical body, the physical shape. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. Bringing your love, nourishment to your baby. Breathing for 2. Knowing that when you relaxed, your baby's relaxed. Making a space between your lips, a tiny space between your lips. Bringing the breath in through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. The longer the exhale is, the easier it is for you to relax. But don't force it. And bring your awareness to the sounds that you can hear from outside the room. The sounds that you can hear from inside the room. The sound of your breath. Again, the sounds that you can hear from outside the room. Move awareness to the sounds that you can hear from inside the room. Then your breath. Again, rotating awareness to the sounds of the outside of the room. Inside the room. Your breath. And stay with your breath. Noticing the breath in and the breath out. Noticing the sound of the bell. And slowly moving your awareness to your physical body. Bringing your knees a little bit closer to you or stretching your legs away from you, whichever works for you.
Then slowly pushing yourself up into a seated pose. And then staying where you are, seated, taking a big breath in, stretching the arms up. As you exhale, hands away from you, down towards the floor. Inhaling again, arms up, stretching the fingers. Exhaling down towards the floor. One more time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands together, up to the crown of your head and then down towards the heart center. And then towards your baby. Greeting your baby, greeting your heart, greeting yourself. I thank you for being